this is the proof of the third angle theorem. We are trying to prove that if you are given two angles of two triangles are congruent, then the third angles will always be congruent. So we are going to start with our given information in our proof. First step will be angle A is congruent to angle D, and angle B is congruent to angle E. And we know that because it's given. We'll mark those in the picture with one arc mark, and then B and E with two arc marks. We need to look at our picture for some more information. What other things do we know from previous information about these triangles? Well, the first thing that comes to mind for me is that all the angles of a triangle add up to 180. So we're going to go that route. Measure of angle A plus the measure of angle B plus the measure of angle C will give me 180. And then I also know in the other triangle the same thing. And we know that because of the triangle angle sum theorem. Now notice that I have angles being added here, and I can't use my given information until I change them to equations. So I'm going to do a second step here that turns my given information into equality so I can use it. And why do I know that if the angles are congruent, then they are equal? Definition of congruence. That would force this one to be my third step on both sides. For the next step, we need to look at our step 3, and you'll notice that there are two 180s being duplicated. In previous proofs, we have wanted to eliminate this 180 and take this piece, which is equal to 180, and replace it into this one. So that leads us to our next step. I am going to take my first line that is equal to 180, and I'm going to set it equal to my second line. And we know this because of substitution. We are substituting out the 180s. Now, if we look back into number 2, where B is equal to E and A is equal to D, you'll notice that on each side of this equation, I have a D on this side and an A on this one. Now remember, we are trying to get back to C to F. So this A, B information is extra. If I can get rid of these guys, I'll have C equal to F. So my next step is going to be subtracting out my A's, B's, D's, and E's, which will leave me with the measure of angle C equal to the measure of angle F. And again, we use subtraction. Now, the only thing different between what I have and what I want is a congruent symbol. So my last step will be angle C is equal to, congruent to angle F. And that is by definition of congruence again.